UW360 is proudly supported by BECU, a not-for-profit member-owned credit union. Pacific Office Automation, copy, print, workflow, and IT. Problem solved.
Hi everybody, welcome to UW360 and welcome to the Washington Park Arboretum in Seattle. This is a place near and dear to the University of Washington. The university jointly manages this park with the City of Seattle. The city owns the land, the university owns and manages the incredible tree and plant collections. And now a team at UW is hard at work on a high-tech solution to make it easier for all of us to study and enjoy this place. We're going to tell you more about that a little later in the show. And from smartphones to the smart grid, we'll also see how UW students are leading the way in energy conservation awareness. We'll celebrate an incredible achievement for the UW and its role with the Peace Corps. And we'll head to Red Square to celebrate everything purple and gold at this year's Husky Fest. But first, almost every athlete knows the agony of being sidelined by injury. But what if you could drastically speed your recovery time by using your own blood to jumpstart your body's healing process? UW sports medicine doctors are hard at work to make that incredible idea a reality.
Professional or amateur, all sports carry the risk of injury. As Husky team physician for football and the women's basketball squad, Dr. Kim Harmon knows this all too well. She sees injuries sideline athletic careers and even everyday life for patients like Lori Henry.
Sleeping was hard, sitting was really difficult, getting up, walking. I was to the point where I could hardly walk my dog.
Hey, Lori.
Hey, Dr. Harmon.
So Lori's a former World Cup soccer player, and she has arthritis in her knee.
I was captain of the U.S. women's national team. Fortunate enough to play in the very first Women's World Cup in '91 over in China, and we won that. We beat Norway 1-0. It was just the highlight of my career without a doubt.
Nice. But after the glory days, Lori's body presented her with a bill.
I have a traumatic arthritis from playing. And when I stopped playing and I was coaching, my knees just started really hurting. I have tried everything. I've tried physical therapy, cortisone shots, orthovis shots. I've had 6 knee surgeries.
Next step for Lori, total knee replacements. But at 47, she's considered young for the surgery. Lori's at UW's Sports Medicine Clinic looking for a medical miracle. That miracle could be a therapy called platelet-rich plasma, or PRP.
What platelet-rich plasma is we take out some blood, we spin it down, we take just the platelets out. And what platelets are is we think of them as like little packets of growth factors. And so we take those growth factors out and we put them back into bad parts of the body and try and restart the body's own healing potential, or sometimes a pop.
But will it work for Lori? PRP is still relatively new in the treatment of arthritis.
She's somebody that's ready for a knee replacement. What we'd really like to do is see people much, much earlier than her that are early arthritis, that hopefully we could prevent them from getting to her stage.
The majority of patients Dr. Harmon treats with PRP have tendinopathy, an acute tendon injury usually caused by overuse.
They've tried cortisone injections, they've tried acupuncture, they've tried massage, and nothing has really worked. And so by the time they get to our clinic, they're pretty desperate. Our results have shown that we have about a 70% success rate. And so at 6 months, 70% of people will be mostly or completely better. This is the red blood cells and the white blood cells down here.
And because the patient is injected with platelet-rich plasma from their own blood, there are virtually no side effects.
You're using the body's own power to heal itself.
And so far, That healing power is working wonders for Lori.
This was the golden ticket. I've had 2 rounds so far. Within a week of my last procedure, I was walking a mile and a half, pain-free. I can use this procedure just to hold off the inevitable, which is getting my knees replaced. And I know that's down the road, but this gave me my life back.
Lori is just one success story. A new pilot study is showing that PRP is improving the lives of many suffering from arthritis.
And typically in somebody with arthritis, you'd see progressive wearing away of the cartilage. And in the people who had the PRP, there was no wearing away of the cartilage.
So when's your game?
Platelet-rich plasma therapy allows Lori to resume a very active lifestyle.
I am a teacher in a middle school, so I'm on my feet all day. I teach health and fitness. I teach before school. I coach 3 seasons during the year. It was a godsend for me. It really did work. So, okay, let's have you shoot.
But what's really great is seeing people who don't expect to get better, get better.
Oh, that was your best one.
The doctor you saw in that story is also an athlete who's had this treatment herself. And like most of her patients, Dr. Harmon has had tremendous results. Stay with us for a look at how energy conservation has become a way of life for UW students as UW 360 continues. Welcome back to UW 360. Have you ever heard of energy shunting? It's a new concept that involves turning heat, electricity, and air conditioning on and off in a smart way. It's part of the University of Washington's Smart Grid project, and students are getting into the act by monitoring their own energy use.
This is my Energy Hub device. It's a device that it helps let me control some of the appliances that are in my room.
Simone Schaefer is the 4th floor resident advisor in the newly constructed Elm Hall at the University of Washington. She uses a handheld wireless device that gives her the ability to turn on or off a bank of energy-guzzling appliances in her room with the touch of a button.
This one right now is connected down here to an energy strip, which controls both of my monitors that are on my screen, and then my speakers and my printer, just kind of in one place. And so this lets me turn each of those appliances on and off at free will.
Simone has the system programmed to come on at 7 a.m. when she wakes up. She'll turn everything off when she leaves for class. And then when she returns to her room at 3:30, the system's been programmed to come back on its own.
Energy saving with no loss of convenience.
Appliances that are left plugged into an outlet continue to draw energy even when they're turned off.
But it's still using a whole bunch of energy that I didn't realize it was using before. But this actually turns the whole power off, and so no energy is used at all. So that's great.
To make Elm Hall as efficient as possible, around 200 students are now using these energy monitoring devices. It's one example of the UW's participation in a huge smart grid project conducted by the federal government.
So this is an example of a smart meter, and we've installed these throughout the entire campus in every significant building.
John Chapman says a simple-looking meter like this, placed in the right spot, can help the UW lower its carbon footprint while saving a lot of money.
And what the smart meter does is it collects data in near real time. Your utility meter at home, they usually only read that once a month, so you know what happened during that month. But we know what's happening every 5 minutes.
So how can that data help the UW save money?
We can now see what the building use profiles are, when people are using the buildings, and we're using that information to go in and reset the operational schedules and parameters for the building. You know, there's times a day when maybe we don't need to run the ventilation system at such a high rate or with such a high temperature setting. So we're just now working with these systems to see what kind of energy gains we can have through this smart grid technology.
Over time, smart meters on the UW campus will save enormous amounts of energy. That's why they've been included in a $178 million federal demonstration project that's now underway in 5 western states. The University of Washington is a part of the regional project.
A smart grid allows us to understand what's happening to that electricity when it's coming. You know, how much is being used, where is it being used, what time of day is it being used, and by having that additional information, we're able to make decisions and come up with ideas on saving energy.
To Simone Schaefer, that all sounds promising.
A little bit of money and a little bit of energy.
It's all about saving energy, and Simone is happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's very cool, and it's cool how easy it is to play a part, you know? Very lucky.
For more information on that story or any of the stories you see today, just head to our website, uwtv.org/UW360. Okay, did you know that the University of Washington delivers more Peace Corps volunteers than almost any other school? And it recently received national recognition for that outstanding achievement. It all began with a vision from President John F. Kennedy.
The willingness of all Americans, men and women, young and old, to serve in the Peace Corps, to serve in all parts of the world, to serve at little pay, to do jobs that most of them have never done before, is one of the most encouraging manifestations of the American spirit that this country has seen in many years.
Among schools with more than 15,000 undergraduates, the University of Washington shares the #1 slot with 107 alumni currently serving as Peace Corps volunteers. Congratulations.
Peace Corps gives us a chance to show a side of our country which is too often submerged. Our desire to live in peace, our desire to be of help.
This, of course, isn't the only kind of opportunity our students will take, but it's a very powerful one, and a lot of our students do because they see this as a path. Our faculty help them see this as a path to do precisely that.
And I'll kind of leave that up to Peace Corps to determine where that might be.
They are demonstrating their interest in people who may live on the other side of the globe, who may live in poverty and misery, but who, because of the presence of the Peace Corps, live in hope.
I was assigned to a small little village called Lawanette, which is just about 4 kilometers outside of Girard, which is the larger city. I did a couple of big tree planting projects with the schools. We distributed olive trees to all of the children. The idea behind that was some income generating for the kids and their families.
They, I think, are serving this country well. And in a very real sense, they are serving a larger cause, the cause of freedom and the cause of a peaceful world.
And there was kind of a fancier hotel in one of the cities near me, and I'd become pretty good friends with the doorman there. And he said, "What are you going to tell Americans about Moroccans when you go home?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to tell them they're some of the kindest, most hospitable people I've ever met." And he instantly started to cry. And it was in his mind, he felt that Americans viewed Moroccans and Muslims as terrorists. And so to know that I was going to go home and, you know, tell people how some of these incredibly kind and friendly people are was really emotional for him. And then it was kind of emotional time for me too. So he's crying and then I'm crying and then, yeah, we're hugging and it just turned into a big crying mess, yeah. But it was definitely one of those stories that sticks with me.
I hope this spirit will grow, and that hundreds of others of young Americans will go overseas to show our best side, to show how much we desire to live at peace. There can be no greater service to our country, and no source of pride more real than to be a member of the Peace Corps of the United States. I hope that you will join.
This is the 5th time in its history that the UW has achieved this recognition. Stay with us. We're celebrating all things purple and gold at Husky Fest as UW 360 continues. Welcome back to UW 360. It's becoming a grand tradition and one heck of a party for Husky fans. This year's Husky Fest had it all, from basketball competitions to fashion shows. UW student reporter Lauren Lemieux gives us a personal tour from Red Square.
I'm Lauren Lemieux, and welcome to the second annual Husky Fest, a celebration of all things purple and gold. There's a lot going on behind me here in Red Square, ranging from a trash and fashion show and a Husky basketball shootout. Behold, the Trash and Fashion Show, hosted by the University of Washington EcoRex.
We're just really trying to get people to look at waste differently. Putting it into costume form and wearing it is not only really fun and entertaining, but it also can get a point across.
The point? Not all trash should be thrown away. Some of those outfits were pretty out there, but now we're off to see something that's literally out of this world.
This is the astronomy department's mobile planetarium. Part of the reason we got this planetarium is we realized there really weren't any Seattle area schools coming to our campus observatory. So this allows us to go to them when they don't have the means to come to us.
The volunteers that run the mobile planetarium program are mostly UW astronomy graduate and undergraduate students.
We can show the entire night sky in infrared light, which is a wavelength we don't really get to see other than with night vision goggles. So it's this like bright red and orange, and it's just stunningly bright and really cool to see.
The mobile planetarium wasn't the only event that featured stars at Husky Fest. Outside of Kane Hall, some shooting stars could be found. What's going on behind us here?
Pretty much we're playing a game of Husky, which is pretty much a game where you try and see who can do the best trick shot. So one person will shoot. If he makes it, then the other person has to make it. If not, he gets that H, and you just pretty much do that until you fill out Husky.
How many games of Husky have you played today?
I think about 6.
Has anyone defeated you yet?
No.
Playing in the background of all the festivities was live music, broadcast by KEXP. 6 bands rocked the stage, and in the true Seattle spirit, Husky Fest goers danced and sang along in the rain.
I think Husky Fest is just one of the very few times on campus that we all just really get to come together with all of our peers and just celebrate what it means to be a Husky and all of the Husky values.
When we return, a high-tech way to tour this Arboretum when UW360 continues. Welcome back, everyone. We're joining you today from one of our community's greatest treasures, the Washington Park Arboretum. It contains an incredible collection of thousands of trees and plants from all around the world. There's so much to explore here. It can be pretty overwhelming to try to take all of it in. So now a team at the UW is hard at work on a high-tech solution to that problem. They're creating an interactive map that can better connect all of us to this beloved park. I spoke with one of the team leaders who showed me how it'll work.
What if trees could talk? Tell you their name, their history, their medical background.
You'd be able to go in, look at the accession number, type it into your cell phone, and voila, you'd have all that information right there available to you.
Thanks to a new digitized mapping system being created by the University of Washington for the Arboretum, soon these trees will be able to tell their stories. Park visitors and managers will be able to go online and access all kinds of detailed information about a specific tree or collection. University of Washington Botanical Garden Director and botanist Sarah Reichert is one of the project leaders.
It can help a researcher or teacher by being able to locate the plants they're specifically interested in. It can also help the public just as they wander around and enjoy the Arboretum. They can have a deeper understanding of it by actually learning more about the trees that we have here.
The Arboretum is home to thousands of plant collections and species, each with a detailed record and history. Records that until now have been saved on paper.
It's time to modernize. Join the 21st century, already in progress.
Now, all those paper maps and records are being digitized. And at the same time, UW teams are carefully resurveying the entire 230-acre park. The information from those now digitized records will then be linked to the updated survey points. End result? An interactive geographic information systems map for the entire park that will allow researchers, students, and visitors alike to go online and access specific information about every documented tree and plant in this arboretum. even taking virtual tours from home.
So it's going to allow you access to a lot of information. For the public, I think that's going to be a great thing. For a researcher, it's also going to be a great thing if they want to, for instance, extract DNA from the plant, from a plant from China. Rather than going all the way to China, if they know we've got good collection information and documentation about it, they can use that plant here in the Arboretum instead of having to go all the way to China to actually get that material.
The 2-year project is funded by a grant from the Institute for Museum and Library Services. For Sarah, it's a dream come true.
It's a project that I've wanted to have happen for many years. So it's enormously fulfilling to me to see that we're actually doing this project, that we are actually kind of on the leading edge of botanic gardens in this country and doing something like this and allowing all of the succession information to be available to the public and to make it more available to students as well.
She expects to eventually see this technology in public gardens all around the country, saving park managers time and money and allowing visitors to take incredibly detailed, self-guided tours.
Our botanic garden is a museum, and so just as you might want to track a painting in an art museum, we want to be able to track the trees in the same kind of way with the same kind of detailed information about it.
If all goes as planned, the interactive map will be up and running by summer of 2014 with a smartphone app to follow, giving visitors to the Arboretum something new to talk about and allowing the trees to finally talk back.
This is amazing that through this technology, we're basically letting the trees tell their story.
They are talking to us.
If you'd like to tour the Arboretum, you might want to make the Visitor Center your first stop. They have all kinds of great information there, and we've linked that site to our own if you'd like to learn more. That does it for this edition of UW360 from the Washington Park Arboretum. If you'd like more information on any of the stories we covered today, just head to our website, uwtv.org/UW360. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with all new stories from the University of Washington.